cracking, you guys? Buenos noches. How you doing? Saludos. As of late, well, everybody knows I am the poster child for anti-FBA. Apparently, FBA is what they call Foundational Black America. I got other colorful names for them. I'm not gonna say it. They are African American group that is pushing for specific things in society from the government, from people like you and me. But that's as far as I'm going to go, not being disrespectful to anybody. And during this process, people would ask me about what they call reparations. Reparation is uh, this group wants to be paid an astronomical amount of money for what they feel that their people have done for this country and for me, you and me. So they want an astronomical amount of money given to them. They didn't do it, but apparently their forefathers and their ancestors did. So they want the money now, this generation. I, on the other hand, feel that as a Native American Indian, which I am half of, uh, if anybody were to get reparations, more than likely would be Native American Indians. But with that being said, I don't think anybody should get reparations. It would cripple this country. This country couldn't afford it, especially in the economy now. With the way the economy is right now, we can't afford anything like that. So I wouldn't be selfish enough to ask for reparations for my gente, for my people, just based on that sole factor. And another thing would be that the people today that are walking around are not the people that slaughtered uh, my people. They're not the ones that raped, pillaged, and murdered my people. They're not the ones that tried to eradicate my people. So why would I ask them for money for something that my forefathers and my ancestors went through? I just don't feel it's right. So, with all that being said, we were having a discussion. There was multiple videos going back and forth where FBA was attacking me and saying things and putting videos and clipping them and manipulating them and editing them so that I look fairly racist. And during the process, I had sent a video back, and then I got a message, a comment from a fellow YouTuber community. They're not a YouTuber themselves, but they work for a community, a YouTuber community, saying that they had thought they had taken me off their watch list because I was a racist and I should learn about generational wealth. Who has it? What else? There was a lot of colorful things that were said, and that they didn't request reparations, that they would get reparations from the kingdom, which means uh, they're very religious, apparently, and they felt that God or higher power would give them their reparations in the kingdom of heaven, right? Now, that was to the extent of that comment. I responded with another video saying, "Hey, that I wasn't pushing for reparations. That this person that came out with, and that I thought that there was different fronts of FBA because one's saying that they want reparation, worldly reparations, which is money, property, and everything else, and then they want reparations from the heavens in the afterlife that they would deal with that, right?" I only assumed that this person was an FBA because I have seen her before, or I've seen them before, and she is of color. And I've never really had a conversation with this person except small talk. Nothing big, just small talk, cordial talk. Never thought it was a problem until about 8 months ago. I was at a function. She was at a function, and I went to say hi, and she ignored me. I said, "Okay, fine, no big thing." Later on through the night, she did say hi to me, but in the beginning, she just ignored me. It seemed like a little bit for her to warm up to me, right? So she responds to that video, the FBA video about I thought I blocked you and this and that. So now I naturally assumed that she's speaking for FBA because that was the trigger that brought everything up, right? Because that's what the topic was, FBA. So now I get a comment today. The comment states that, let me see if I got it right here. I don't want to miss say anything wrong, so I don't want to make it to the point that I said something disrespectful or anything. So I'm gonna read what was said. And the comment was on a Vicky's Towns Chronicle. They had replied. They had put, "It seems FBI has multiple fronts," which I didn't know, which was my caption on my video, and Vicky's Town put it up. So in the comments, there's a section on the comments I get. Hold on. I get a comment that reads, "If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a racist. Interesting how you went from FBA, you went straight to FBA. Who said I was FBA? Mind you, the conversation was about FBA, the video was about FBA, it wasn't about anything other than FBA. Because I am an Afro Latino, which I've told you on numerous occasions, but only see black FBA women. I've never had a long conversation, a prolonged conversation with this person. I've met him on multiple occasions. Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. Maybe a little cordial here and there, but nothing. No, never talked about race, never talked about anything else. But all I've seen was FBA, right? A black woman. So she does claim FBA. You completely disrespected me on your platform when I was fighting for deportations because my mother was born in Cuba. So apparently she was fighting on deportation and I was being disrespectful to her somehow on my platform about deportations. I don't remember ever talking about deportations. I never I don't remember if anything I've ever said about deportations that it was um, I didn't agree on how deportations were being done right now. That I thought it was a racist. Trump, I didn't agree with the way he's doing it. But for some reason, it says you completely disrespected me on your platform when I was fighting for deportation because my mother was born in Cuba. Okay, and there's a couple things there. One is the fighting the deportation. I didn't know anything about fighting deportation. I didn't talk about it, didn't speak about it, and it's not on my platform. And because her mother was born in Cuba. So she's fighting deportation to Cuba, I guess, apparently, from what I understand right here. Um, well, Cuba's not part of this country. Whether you're here from Cuba or not, it's none of my business. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's nothing to do with me. Personally, I don't care about deportation. I would rather it not happen the way it's happening. I do understand that somehow deportation has to be dealt with. I understand that immigration has to be dealt with somehow, some way, but this is not the way to do it. So she said I did disrespect her, right? You, sir, are very out of touch and only hear yourself speak. Okay? See, my grandfather was indigenous to this land and has paperwork to prove it. Okay. She says her grandfather was indigenous to the land and has paperwork to prove it. Okay. So I'm not saying that she's not American Indian. I'm not saying that. I never came out of my mouth, and I've never spoken about this person. So how would I go into disrespecting her or her family? I've never spoken to her. Never had a conversation with her. Never insinuated anything about deportation or anything else, right? So, you claim to know me, speak on me, yet know absolutely nothing I've said except I will get my reparations in the kingdom because I'm highly favored. Okay, so again, it says, you claim to know me, speak on me, yet absolutely nothing I've said except I get my reparations in the kingdom. See, she put that in the first comment, saying that she was going to get her reparations in the kingdom. That she's highly favored. Apparently, she feels that the kingdom favors her, apparently over me, which is fine. That's how she thinks. That's cool. Um, but that's why I had mentioned it because she said that in the comment. I didn't. I thought I had never heard FBA say that they were going to get their reparations within the kingdom. She was the first one I heard say that. I understood that the FBA, her asking for reparations, when she said it was coming from the kingdom, was through God. That's fine. I'm not. I think everybody gets reparations through God, through the kingdom if they're. But I might not get things like that because I'm not favored. I walk in the light. It says, I walk in the light. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I walk in a light where I believed in the Most High, and you, sir, said you aren't a Christian. Okay, I do believe in God. Does that make me a Christian? I do believe in God. I never said I am not a Christian. I don't really think of myself as a Christian. I do believe in God. I believe in the Virgin Mary. I believe in Catholicism. But Christianity is a certain aspect of Catholicism, right? I do believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in the Father. I believe in the Holy Spirit. I believe in, um, very much so, I believe in the kingdom. I talk to God on a regular basis. I have a relationship with God. I don't go to church because I don't trust in the man-made church. But that's me. That's my religion. You are friends with a blatant racist. Had him on your show and he shouts you out. Okay, the only one that I've had on my show in recent times is Mexica Chronicles. Mexica Chronicles is a platform that teaches indigenous people our history. He goes so far back into history and explains how he sees our gente, our people. So I'm thinking it has to be Mexica Chronicles, which she's speaking about, right? Mexico Chronicles also has a problem with FBA because FBA is, well, let's call it what it is. FBA is a racial group. It's a racist group. FBA is a racist group. And FBA is always saying that they're indigenous and that people like me and my people were not here, that we're lying, we made it up, and we just fell off the planet Pluto. I don't know where they think we came from. Uh, but that they were here prior to anybody else, dismissing any kind of DNA, archaeologist, scientist, any factor that you might have to prove that your gente was here in the Americas prior to anybody else is all dismissed because FBA is saying that they're indigenous. Now, if you're indigenous and you hear somebody say that, that is blatant uh, disrespect because they're trying to erase your history, your culture. That's how I take it. That's how a lot of indigenous people take it. That you're trying to erase my culture. You're trying to erase my people, my existence. And it's been Spain did that. Spaniards did that. They try to erase, eradicate any history of our people. So you got a gentleman named Mexica Chronicles that speaks up for us, that talks for us, that shows knowledge, that is a read. He's a historian. Okay. And yes, sometimes he might get blatant words when blatant words are thrown at him. So it might get a little bit of touchy here and there. Do I believe he's a racist? No, I don't. I believe that he's fighting for what he believes in. And if you're going to call him a racist, then you have to infer that anybody supporting FBA or claiming to be FBA is a racist as well. Because the indigenous people are not going after FBA and saying, hey, FBA, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. No, it's FBA that is coming after indigenous people of the Americas, the American Indians, the Indians of all Americas, and saying, you, my friend, are full of shit. You guys weren't born here. We were. And that goes pretty deep, where you're saying that you don't exist. You are nothing. We were here first. It doesn't care what the DNA says, doesn't care what scientists says, doesn't say what the relics say, doesn't say what the bones say. Doesn't show what DNA got certain blood where people are from Africa or that region. And just because you're from Africa doesn't make you black. But just from that region got a certain DNA, just like the people from America's got a certain DNA. That's how they tell where they were from. So FBA is saying that we're non-existent, that we didn't mean nothing, we didn't do nothing, we're just there, we're no good to nobody, we've never done nothing, we never added to society, we never invented anything. So you're gonna say the FBA is gonna say that, that to me is being racist. Versus Mexica Chronicle, which is using facts, he's using scientists' wording, he's using books, scriptures, he's using scholars' uh, findings, technical findings, bones. He's using everything, utilizing. So you're going to call him a racist. See, it's easy to turn around and use that word racist on somebody when you're being actually the one being racist. Okay? And they get upset. So okay. My friends are blatant racist, and you've had him on your show, and he shouts you out. So he shouts me out. He shows support for my show. He comes on as a guest on my show. He's come on and is a subscriber. We talk off the phone periodically. We were talking about La Llorona last time, the crying lady, and how that had to do with our heritage. Okay? Nothing about how FBA did anything or performed anything. It wasn't until an FBA called and was being disrespectful that this man, Mexica Chronicles, responded to him in every question that he had and put him in his place. So it says, so they're holding me accountable because I had this guy on my thing. I'm a racist because I had him on my show and I allow him to speak his words. Okay? So, yes, I distance myself from anyone who doesn't believe in the Father, his Son, or has hate for anyone. And again, okay, so again, I distance myself from anyone who doesn't believe in the Father, his Son, or has hate for anyone. And again, okay, so she's saying she distances anybody who doesn't believe in God, doesn't believe in Jesus, and has hate for anybody. Okay, those three things are very distinct. One, I do believe in God. I talk to God on a regular basis. Two, I believe in Jesus. Three, have hate for anybody. FBA shows blatant disrespects to indigenous, the whites, the Jews, everybody else, but never gets called out for it. And you're going to tell me I'm the one that has hate for anyone. I'm the one that goes to show support to other groups. I don't believe FBA is the black community. Just like I don't believe the black community is FBA. I think those are two different groups. But I have gone to support black community. I have family in the black community. I have people that I associate with in the black community. I stay away from FBA. Okay. Learn who has generational wealth since slavery to this very day. Okay. Learn the general wealth since slavery to this very day. Again, we go back to FBA. Narrative. Slavery. Who got generational wealth? Well, obviously, I didn't get generational wealth off it. Slavery. Why would I care who got generational wealth out of slavery? Do you know Raza and Indigenous were massacred by the millions? Did you know we were hung by trees as well? That were used as slaves for free labor as well? But no, she only sees it one way. The slavery generational wealth since slavery to this very day. Okay. See, this is a one-sided argument where it's just FBA was done wrong. Nobody else, just FBA. Okay, educate yourself. Educate yourself. It's fundamental. Now be blessed. It's my Sabbath tonight. It's fundamental. This is far from fundamental. And if you're going to educate yourself, one thing people need to understand that if you're going to talk facts or you're going to argue a point, then you need to see all points, not just a one-sided view of something. That's where a lot of people make mistakes when they argue with people. They want to make an argument, but they only want to see it from one side. They don't see it from both sides. They got a saying, there's three sides to a story. Yours, hers, and the truth. And if you're going to have even the slightest productive conversation, then you need to see it from all sides. Not just pointing out what was done wrong or what you consider was wrong. You have to point wrong for everything that was done wrong. Not just bits and pieces and pick out what's helpful to you. And this is what happened here. Oh, and this is how she ends it. Oh, and was for clicks and giggles. Because if you truly cared, it's way too easy to get my number. That's, see, again, not paying attention to details and understanding that it's more than one way. This person has multiple different ways of getting my number. And if it was that important to her and important to them, they could have easily got a contact with me and said, hey, I see this on your channel. I don't really agree with it. I'm stepping away. fine if that's just what they wanted to do. And I would have been fine, cool. Thank you for letting me know. But no, it's I have to approach them with a beef to salute to solve a beef or solve a problem when I didn't know there was a problem. See, I didn't know about this that I disrespected anybody. According to her, I directly disrespected her about deportations, which I didn't know nothing about. I didn't speak on. I didn't know she was part Cuban. Didn't know she was part Native. Didn't know she was. I didn't even know she was FBA. I didn't know anything about it. So, for clicks and giggles, uh, I could have easily got a number. Hey, what happened? What did I do? Why would I do that? Why would I reach out to you when you publicly went out and disrespected me on my own platform, calling me a racist and everything else on my own platform, and you're saying I should have reached out to you, got your number, called you, and made an effort to squash this or get this taken care of correctly instead of going on the internet and doing it? Again, it's one way. Again, seems racist to me. Now, I'm not going to disrespect this person. I'm not. I got nothing against them. I feel bad that somebody has to go along in life with that burden on their chest. See, me, I've never really put race in front of anything. I can say in my life very few times, a handful of times, that I can actually blame something on race. Because it was pointed out very clearly to me that it was based on race. But out of all the years that I've been alive, I can put them on one hand. Okay. Now, that being said, I have made it a point to make people look at me a certain way with the tattoos, the way I dress, the way I act, the way I conduct myself. I've always made it a point that I wanted people to look at me a certain way and say, hey, that's a cholo. That's a gangbanger. And I got what I wanted throughout the years. I got people to look at me and say, hey, right off the bat, without knowing a word and hearing a word from me, know that, hey, that guy's a gangbanger. He's from a neighborhood. Fucks around, gangbangs, breaks the law. It wasn't until I got older and I realized that I didn't want that reputation, but it was already too late for me. So I do my best to try to change, right? And I've always told myself that I'm not going to be one of those people to say, well, they did it because of my race. Because to me, and I'm not saying this is right, to me, I'm not going to let anybody make me feel inferior because of the color of my skin. That's how I feel. I can't say that's right for anybody. I'm not saying that to be racist. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying that's how I look at things. I am not embarrassed of my race. I'm not embarrassed of the color of my skin. I'm not going to let anybody say, well, you're doing this because you're brown. That I feel inferior for that reason. Again, don't twist it and say, oh, you're saying I'm embarrassed because I'm black. I didn't say that. What I'm saying, this is how I feel about my situation. I constantly get ridiculed by FBA because they say, well, if you don't understand everything is racial, then you're the one with the problem. Well, if you're going to look for things to be racial, you're going to find it. There's easy way to turn things into being racist when it's not racist. When there's obvious other reasons. FBA is pushing that Mexica Chronicles is racist. And people like Vicky's town, Chronicles racist because of what they put up, but they can't see the point that maybe it's not racist, and maybe they're doing it because you're attacking their people, their bloodline. Maybe they're standing up for their own. Maybe it's not on race. Maybe it's the fact that you're being disrespectful and you're looking at everything racist, so you make it seem racist. And this is what I got from this. This is how I see it. I didn't think it was a racial issue. I didn't think there was a racial issue with this person. I always thought she was nice when I met her, cordial. Um, my opinion really hasn't changed much of her, but like I said, I feel bad for people that have to go through life with that burden on their chest, with that burden saying, well, nobody likes me because of the color of my skin. And I got special favors coming from God because of that. God made us different colors for a reason. I don't know what that reason is. He gave us different colored skin tones. I don't know why. I'm not here to question it. I'm not here to question God. God did what he did. I'm going with it. I am proud of what I am. That's it. Have a blessed one, you guys. I hope you guys understand this. I hope that you guys keep it on mind when you listen to this, and see what it's worth. See what it's for. Why I'm saying what I'm saying. And don't look at it as a racial aspect. Look at it as a man that is speaking up for his. Have a blessed one, you guys. Bye-bye.